Community captions. They are what enable viewers to share translated subtitles on YouTube. YouTube self-defines its feature as allowing viewers to add closed captions, subtitles, and descriptions to videos. Back in April 2020, Creator Insider, a channel run by YouTube employees, announced their consideration of canceling community captions.
Today, we're going to talk about community captions because we're taking a hard look on whether we should sort of continue supporting them.
So why does this matter and who does it involve? Well, everyone. You've most likely already used community captions if you had watched content in languages you don't speak. You see, community captions are a huge feature for international viewers and YouTubers alike. It's how people enjoy watching content in languages they don't speak. Also, let's not forget about the hard of the hearing and the deaf community audiences. Taking away the captions would limit them from accessibility. It's important to know that they use captions not out of choice, but as a sole necessity. So from April 24th to mid-September, people were in absolute chaos. YouTube isn't sure about its decision. No one is. People don't know what's going to happen, so they make tweets, make videos, start petitions. People are doing whatever they can to keep the captions alive. But then September 28th happens and the captions are gone. You might be asking yourself, if the feature is so crucial, why did YouTube take it away? According to their official status page, YouTube decided to discontinue their community contributions due to its lack of use and its reported problems including spam abuse and low-quality submissions.
The reason that we're considering it ultimately comes down to not that many creators are ultimately using it. And then there's problems with spam and abuse, and then people turn it off, and then consequently, it's not on that much watch time.
Usability and abuse seems to be YouTube's two main problems with community captions. Let me tackle these reasonings and explain to you why none of these seem reasonable. First, its lack of use. According to YouTube's calculation, the feature is rarely used with less than 0.001% of channels having published community captions, showing on less than 0.2% of watch time. Yes, the numbers they present us do seem low, but let me do a quick calculation for you. The total number of hours of content watched on YouTube estimates to around 3.25 billion hours each month. Then 0.2% of that is still worth 62 million hours of content. Also, this shouldn't be about the number of users in the first place when certain communities rely on community captioning. Second, the reported problems of spam abuse and low-quality submissions. According to YouTube, many creators and viewers have reported problems with caption trolling, but creators do have the choice to reject translations and can also default his or her community caption settings. My question is, why can't the creators just go through the caption with Google Translate before publishing them? And no, I'm not saying community captions are perfect. They have their own flaws. For example, creators are not notified when they have new captions submitted, so the captions could sit in quests for months or even years. And honestly, using community captions can be confusing because there was no education about them in the first place. And instead of agonizing over how YouTube can make this feature better and more easier to use, YouTube just straightened to the conclusion of taking away the community captions. And now, with the captions gone, we as in both creators and viewers are facing different problems. So far, YouTube solutions are the usage of automatic captions or third-party tools and services. The problem with this is 1. Auto-translated captions are inaccurate, especially for languages with different syntax patterns. For example, this is a recent SBS newscast from South Korea. I also want to mention that SBS is one of the most reliable and well-known news broadcasts in the country. It's big, it's reliable, it's what a lot of people watch. Their recent video covered some of the problems that occurred during the Korean standardized test Suneung this year. And notice how the automatic captions have completely different words in them. Here's a comparison for those of you who do not speak Korean. As you can see, it's quite different from what the interview is saying in the video. And now let's look into the auto-English translated captions. The caption reads, "Even in case of activities, it is difficult to make additional measures because the QPR education authorities gave more test times as much as the lost time." It's clear that these captionings are inaccurate, and what I'm trying to get at is relying on language databases to translate languages that have different syntax or grammar patterns can miss so much context and sentence structure. Now on to the second problem. Not everyone can afford third-party subscription fees. The majority of the people who use community captions use it because they are not able to afford transcription services in the first place. So how can YouTube be so sure about the viewers and creators' financial sustainability? In their page, YouTube specifically talks about Amara, a well-known subtitle editor, and offers creators 6 to 12 months of free usage of the website. However, these numbers of months are no way a feasible option for creators who cannot afford third-party captioning services. I also want to go over Amara's pricing structure. Amara offers only 5 foreign languages and 25 team members in a video unless you go for their enterprise option. If the creators want more languages or team members, they need to pay for the add-on. This ultimately creates an unnecessary financial burden on creators. And what YouTube fails to understand is, again, community captions are a necessity for some people. Some are hard of the hearing, some have auditory processing disorders, and some create/watch content in languages other than their own. Many creators and viewers have already expressed their disliking for YouTube's recent decision. Different communities have spoken about YouTube's change through different platforms. However, YouTube is refusing to listen to these people who have spoken about this change. Despite all these problems, I am happy to say we do have an alternative. An account on Twitter has created a website that allows you to create community captions for YouTube videos. They also provided a step-by-step guideline on how to use their website, so please check that out as well. Yes, this does mean we have to use another platform in order to upload captions on YouTube, but hey, at least we get to keep our captions going. Thank you all for watching.